get abused.
So this is the issue in civic engagement. This is a big issue in civic engagement. It has to do with, do you address policy or do you change culture? And there's a lot of civic engagement practitioners, and I actually would be one of them, that says that culture is the primary method of change, that culture almost trumps policy in a sense. So if culture has changed enough, policy will generally follow. That wasn't the case here.
No.
You needed the policy
Right.
to change things.
Yep, and the culture eventually, and they were just kind of a basket weave together, but I just really couldn't.
But the culture hadn't substantively changed, it
No.
sounds like. I mean, everything that we know is there was, even while you were working on your case and working with Jeff Anderson and the courts and trying to get this resolved, there were still emerging issues.
Oh, absolutely.
Right, so there wasn't a cultural change. There
No.
wasn't enough of us parents out there that were aware or able to navigate or mitigate
No.
or whatever the case may
The
be.
masses weren't standing up and going, hey, we disagree with this.
Right, right.
They were still doing what they were doing. So,
And the priests, some of the priests were still struggling with
absolutely.
abuse issues. They were still abusing.
Absolutely. You know, and it was still the just let's somehow squash it,
Right.
move them, or take them out of service. But they were never being held accountable to the level that anybody would.
So the only way in your mind that you could solve this was it was as simple as publishing this list of credibly accused priests.
Right.
Okay, so then, so you lost at the Supreme Court, and then you were sued by the Archdiocese,
Yes,
right?
I was.
Okay, so how?
I was sued for taxation, and so basically suing for their legal cost. Excuse me. And that was really an interesting day. It started out at 68,000, and then it jumped to 164, and then I think it got as high as $284,000.
And this is after they had sometime earlier proposed a $50,000 settlement.
Yeah, that was their opening offer.
So they were willing to make a settlement that was far less, that now they were going to turn around and
Right.
demand of you.
Well, I explained it to people that they tried to pay me to be quiet, and
Right.
I said no.
Right.
And then they were going to sue me and make me pay unless I was quiet, because
Right.
they just don't want anybody to be noisy.
Why not? I mean, these are
I
many
don't-
of them. Some of these priests are good guys, and some of the
Exactly.
leadership
Are
are
good
good people. That they have done important things
Yes.
separate from this horrible issue, and it's a horrible issue. I
It
mean, I
is.
don't want to undermine it,
What
but
I don't understand is our society has a solution for the issue. Any other agency, entity, business, workplace, whatever, if they encounter somebody who engages in this, they call the police, and we have a system to deal with them.
in their schools, our teachers have to.
Absolutely.
Any adult that is engaged in any way
Yeah, mandated
professionally
reporter.
with a child must call the
Yes,
police, or they
absolutely.
are in violation of the law.
And you don't have to have had any investigation on it. You just have to have knowledge or a strong belief that this happened. For whatever reason, the church engages in the belief that they don't have to. And they deal with it internally, and they really don't deal with it.
Right, right.
And I for the
And
love of
how
gosh, I don't
frustrating it
understand.
is for those of us, and I'm Catholic as well, to see the church continually say it's dealing with it, and then not too long after finding out that it really hasn't been
No.
able to, for whatever reason, for all the complicated reasons that an institution deals with. And I don't think either you or I are interested in bashing the Catholic Church,
No.
but we're certainly interested in bringing the truth out. I know that's your
Accountability,
mission. Yeah,
you know.
and protection of this not happening
You know,
anymore.
and just
right?
changing policy. I mean, it's as simple as if you accuse our priest and we're not going to investigate it, we're going to turn it over and let somebody else investigate. If they are found innocent, we're going to celebrate them.
And public safety arguably doesn't have quite the same impetus to protect a priest that the church does.
Correct.
I mean, the church is going to have a natural, I mean, I think just by sheer, accessibility or closeness with the priest, they're going to have a natural desire to somehow or another see that priest as being innocent,
Right.
even if they're really being objective. It's very hard to do in any institution or organization, and certainly would know these priests as
Right.
people, as friends, perhaps even.
Well, and the thing is none of the priests really deny that they've done it.
Right, right.
In a weird way, I have a level of empathy for Father Tom, because it's no different than putting, a drunk in a
Right,
bar
right,
and
right.
saying you're the barkeep now.
Right, right.
Or you know, a diabetic in a candy
So,
store. and
so
saying,
so what you're saying then, Jim, is that we are, in a sense, perpetrating this problem because
Absolutely.
without having clear policies that are public policies, not just church policies,
Right.
but that are civic policies through the courts, we are in essence doing exactly what some of the most fearful people think, and that is having a place where if you have those impulses and if you're having a hard time controlling them, you've got some sense that you might still be able to get by with it.
Right.
Even if you know it's sick, even if
Right.
you don't want to have those impulses.
Right.
So in a way, this isn't serving the priests
No,
at all either.
no. And he had done some counseling, we found out through records, and basically at one point said, nah, I don't want any more. You know, so nobody stepped in and said, well, you're not going to stop, so we're going to stop you.
So this would be akin to putting an alcoholic in the job of a bartender,
Correct.
right?
Pretty much.
Okay. And we wouldn't dare do that.
No.
To protect
It'd be
them
cruel.
and to protect us.
Right.
And it'd be cruel, right?